Welcome to Power Supply Replacement Part 2. But wait, I thought we were done. Well, we're not done, and here's why. This power supply does not fit. You see there's an opening here. See my finger sticking out of it right there? Well, the problem is it does not line up. The switch and the plug are blocked by part of this metal. Now this is an unusual circumstance. Usually this will not happen, okay? But power supplies are pretty standard. You see we have this rocker switch on the back of this thing, and that's where it plugs in. Normally, you buy a power supply, plop it right in, pretty easy to do. This time, however, we have to make some changes to this case. And what we're going to do is we're going to cut part of the case away. I have my handy-dandy Dremel tool with a cutting wheel. We're going to cut this thing. No joke. So the first thing we need to do is probably get a black marker, just a regular good old Sharpie, and then draw a rough outline of the part of the case that we're going to have to cut away to get this thing to fit. So that's what I'm going to do. Okay, I'm going to get right down here and probably cut this whole portion away along with this. And of course we got to cut these right there. We're going to remove that part of this case. Now again, this is unusual. I've done this one other time during the 4 years I've been in business, and I've replaced a lot of power supplies. Sometimes these big companies, they make their computers unusual. They do that on purpose because they want you to either buy the part from them so they can rake you over the coals and charge you a fortune for the part, or maybe you'll just give in and go out and buy another computer. But we're not that stupid. We're going to fix this and we're going to make it work. Okay? Now, the one thing that we have to understand is sparks are going to fly. We have a motherboard right here. Metal, little pieces of metal conduct electricity. Okay? So we don't want those little pieces landing on the board, shorting stuff out when we power it up, only causing more trouble. So what are we going to do? Well, we're going to take this old towel and kind of cover this motherboard. Okay? Now, final word of warning. If you do this, you get hurt, you break your computer, don't blame me. I'm not responsible for what you do. Okay? Do this at your own risk. Safety glasses, use them. It's nice to be able to see things, so I'm going to use safety glasses, of course. And I have my Dremel tool here ready to go. So, plug it into a power source. And this one has variable speed. To cut metal, usually you want a higher speed. Okay, don't forget the safety glasses. They're on. Again, if you hurt yourself, don't blame me. If you break your computer, don't blame me. Do this at your own risk and be careful. Alright, here we go. Try to cut it straight. When you're cutting through metal, try to cut it straight. Don't put too much pressure or you will break the cutting wheel, and then you'll have to stop what you're doing and change the cutting wheel. And of course, you gotta watch that kind of stuff too, because once you cut through it, if it jerks and skips, you can break it. And if you happen to run out, you'll have to go to the store and get some more. So let's see, how do we approach this without me getting in the way of the camera? Let me try to go to the other side. Now I have to cut here. Again, let the wheel do the work. Don't push on it too hard. You'll break the cutting wheel, and that's pretty annoying. So, word of warning. One, two, three, and four. Now this piece of metal is going to be pretty hot, so don't go grabbing it with your hands, burning yourself. Okay, again, be smart, be safe. I'm going to try to pick it up with a pair of pliers. Now, most computer guys aren't going to do something like this for you, even if you do pay them. I've never heard of another guy doing this. Here's a piece we cut out, by the way. I'm going to take that, set it aside, let it cool. Looks like we could have some pretty sharp edges. So, this guy that owns this computer, he takes it, he cuts himself. All of a sudden, he wants to blame me. I don't want that, so I'm just going to sand it down. So if you own a Dremel tool or something similar, there is a sanding attachment you can use to kind of make this thing a little bit safer. Okay, probably should unplug the tool before you do that, but this isn't a wood shop, so just want to get this computer fixed. I'm going to sand it down. Try to remove any burrs, any sharp edges. Alright, I don't want a lawsuit. Okay, feels pretty good. Now, what do we do now? Well, we got a bunch of tiny metal particles in here. We want to get those out before we move the computer because we don't want them to end up on the motherboard and shorten stuff out for us. So we will remove those particles next.